All right, you guys are good.
So ready whenever?
Yeah.
So I just start?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. What's up, everyone? You know me. I'm Corey Clark. Let me introduce you to Florida State head coach Mike Norvell. We're going to talk about a moment that happened in late September. We're coming off the Louisville game. It was the fourth straight loss. And I wanted to, we're going to watch what many people say was the turnaround of the season when I asked you that question.
Not to belabor the point, but back to the recruits. What message are you selling them? And can you sell them that this program is getting better?
I just wanted to know, when you were talking to recruits after an 0-4 start, what the head coach of an 0-4 team is telling the guys that you're recruiting. And the first time I asked it, I didn't ask it very well.
Like, there was somebody that said you are what your record says you are. Number one, you're not getting blown off the field. You're in these games late, but you're also 0-4. So I guess in that, what is the message to recruits?
We're going to watch you stare daggers at me, and I kind of want to talk you through, or you talk me through what you're thinking as we go on. So we'll start this right here and start watching.
Mike, I don't, not to belabor the point, but back to the recruits. What message are you selling them? And can you sell them that this program is getting better even when the results on the field?
Oh, they watch, not to cut you off, but they watch the games too. They see the opportunities. They see the opportunity for themselves. They see the opportunity of, and they have a belief in who they are. And that's what I want to be around. When you lay out the vision of what you want, you live it out every day. And the best recruiters we have on here are the players.
Can you talk about that real quick? I've heard that a few times with coaches, but the best recruiters being the players.
Well, those are the guys that are going through it day in and day out. You know, they have the real life experience. Anybody can present a plan. They can give a speech. You can go through and talk about expectations. But when you have to live it, when you have to go through the experiences, whether they're challenging moments, whether they're the successful days, you get to see what the reality is. You get to see growth. You get to feel growth. You get to understand belief and just those foundational elements that we are building here.
Right.
The players are the ones that they are the examples. And you sit there and you start 0-4. It's where nobody desires to be. Nobody envisions that as you go into a season. But when we were at that point, you look through the examples. You look at how the guys play. You look at the growth of what they are still fighting to be able to achieve. And those are those confident conversations, right? Because they are the ones that are going through it day in and day out. And when they help share the message, when they talk to these kids that are coming on campus they're asking, what is it really like? I mean, they are the greatest spokesmen that we have.
And the reason I thought I wanted to ask that question is because the second half of the Louisville game, it did feel like something kind of switched a little bit. Like, that second half was the best second half of Florida State defense had played in a while. And that was kind of where the question was coming from.
Best recruiters we have on here are the players, because they're the ones that get to talk about what it is day in and day out. How our coaches care about the players, how our coaches invest, the focus on teaching fundamentals, the focus on putting playmakers in an opportunity to make plays. But we've got to go out there and we've got to do a better job in every one of those areas. But I'm looking for guys that want to be a part of that process too. Right? I mean, look, I'm pissed off that we're 0-4. Right? And we can bring up how many years it's been. I don't really I can't control that. I can control this team at this moment and right now with the opportunity.
So as you're going, are you getting more and more, and I ask that because I've never been in that situation. I've asked all the questions. I'm never in a situation where I'm talking to people like that. Do you start answering the question and then you get a little more
it's
passionate?
It's what I believe.
Yeah.
And it's what we talked about the players earlier. Well, it's also our experiences. Yeah. And that was a Monday. We had a practice the day before. We had our Sunday. The way the guys had to respond. Living through the second half of that game, seeing a response, seeing the belief. It's all about our process of what we're building. And in that moment, when you start 0-4 and you have, unexpected events. Whether it's the opening game of coming down to losing on the last play against Notre Dame, it was, sad to say there was a lot of excitement about a close loss. And that's not,
Right.
it was a disappointment because we didn't finish that game the way we wanted. The next game, that's it's one of those things that will haunt you forever. Just
Right.
being real.
Right.
But there's still those experiences, even in that moment with doubt and outside and all those things. It's still about going and continuing to improve, continuing to believe. And then, we have those next couple games where, we go on the road, don't play very well, turn the ball,
Right.
all of the things. And then, that Louisville game, you're sitting there in the moment, right? And you start off terribly. We're down 31-7. It was really bad. Going at halftime, and I didn't go throw chairs. I didn't tip something over. I believe in how we do things. I believe in the thing, but we have to go out there and the work, the investment, the time, all of that stuff. You still have to go put it. You have to go live it out.
Right.
You have to execute in the moment, and that's what in the second half of that game we started to see that come together, and you start seeing I look down the sideline at the beginning of that second half, and you see a team that just wants to play one more. You want the next snap. You want the opportunity to respond. And that's an exciting feeling. And that's where, for me, guys that want them, they see the challenge ahead. It's not easy. There's a lot of things in life that you can go and the path might be set, and you can go through the experience and have have whatever that brings for you.
Right.
Or you can go make a difference. You can go make an impact. You can be a part of something that people will talk about and remember because of the journey. And that's what this is.
And that belief, that sense of what you had in that team is that's bubbling over in this, right? It's all, and I don't mean bubbling over as in out of control. I'm just saying that's what this is all based on. This is what that's all fuels this answer.
That's heart and experience and what I believe.
Right. And you were pissed off.
And I was pissed off.
I've been a part of teams that, they've been on a losing streak. They didn't get caught up with all the crap that was on the outside and everybody telling you what you can't do and, this is the issue and that's it. Yeah, it's easy to point at that. But who wants to be a part of the solution? So those are the guys we're going after.
I talk to our team all the time is your truest identity, right, is what shows up when you have to respond. And when it's all going good, it's easy to put a smile on your face. It's easy to have a cookie cutter response. This is, I'm pissed in this moment.
Right.
But I also, I'm angry for what I know. I'm angry for these kids. I'm angry for the work, all the things that are going, and it hadn't, we didn't reap the benefits of a lot of the early investments, but that doesn't mean you lose confidence.
Right.
I have confidence in the work. I have confidence in what I see. I have confidence in the response. And you talk about what are you looking for in recruits? What do you tell recruits? And we had kids on official visit for this game. And throughout this entire process, I would tell kids, I'm not guaranteeing a fairy tale. I know some of the things. We're one of the youngest teams in college football. There are going to be some experiences that we're going to have to live through. I go, but you watch them play. You watch them respond. You watch the effort. You watch the belief. You watch how they are on the sideline. That's what when that shows up right, I know what's coming. Because as we continue to grow and we continue to develop, the response is going to be what sets these guys apart.
Right.
And you talk about, and to be in all honesty, that's what had been missing.
And so we're going to work our butts off to go get better. And we're going to do it the right way. And we're going to have a standard of how we operate. It's going to be the same standard that we're going to ask them to do in the classroom, the same standard of everything that we do. I'm going to hold myself to it because I got to be the example. And you know what? Does that mean I'm not going to make a mistake? I'll probably make a mistake. Might make one today, might make one tomorrow. But I will respond to that.
I mentioned, I have to be the example. I have to show them. I stood in front of our coaches after this game. I said, now we get to go be the example for how we want them to respond. It's the first time in my life. Right. I've been involved in football 35 years, player or coach. I've been a part of 3 losing seasons in my life, and 2 of them are here at Florida State.
Right.
First time in my life I'd ever been 0-4. But how I respond, right? The belief that I can speak into them, the example that I can try to be in all those situations. I didn't envision, some of those results.
Right.
But we were there. It happened. So where do you go from that? And, it's the same thing in recruiting. Like, there's plenty of programs that can sit there and, look at where they are. Oh, I know where we are. I know where we're going because of the work, because of the investment, because of the belief in the process of growth. And I didn't know. I'm saying this answer not knowing what the next day looks like.
We did not win that game, and that's what we came out. I felt very confident in it. I felt that we were going to put ourselves in a great position. But you know what? We came up short. But they did not stop. They continued to believe. And it's for the guys that we recruit, for the coaches that are on the staff, for the players that are on this team, that's what I want. Because if you have that, then you might get your butt knocked down, but you're going to get up and you're going to respond the right way. Yes, we are 0-4, but we have today. And then, Lord willing, wake up tomorrow, we'll have tomorrow. And what we do with that, man, I've got a lot of confidence in.
All right, thank you, Coach.
You don't want another question?
I wanted to know after that moment, as you're walking the hallway back up to the office, the thing went viral. Like, I think you guys even tweeted it out, like your response, and the football Twitter account was like, "This is our coach." Did you know, I kind of knocked the shit out of that.
I had plenty of people that reached out to comment or sent something to me about it. And,
Did you thank me at all when you were talking about it?
that's
Corey
what
Clark
my-
just asked a great question.
I thought our eye contact, I'm in great company, I guess, with what you say.
Correct.
But, at the end of the day, it's, I try to be as genuine and real in those moments of just what I felt. And it's, you asked a question that, that is our reality. Mm-hmm. And that's what, when you're in, there's no coach speak, there's none of that in that time. It's just, that's the daily belief. Right. If you sit there and you ask our players what shows up at 7 o'clock in the morning for a Tuesday practice, it's that.
Yeah.
When you go out to work, that's, you asked a question that it got me excited about the opportunity to express what we are looking for. Anything that you say is an opportunity to express, who you are, where you are, what the, what's next. And, I had no clue what was coming. I knew the work, I knew the continued belief that I had in our process. And like I said, I saw it in our kids. And when you have that, those guys never stopped. They never let up. They continue to work and believe. I had great confidence in them, and I still do in what we're building. And so you provided an opportunity with a question that needed a response.
Yeah.
Because if there's not a response there, if I can't answer that question, was it prepared? No, I had no clue what was going to be asked that day. But that if I don't have that, if the leader of this program doesn't have that, then where's it going?
Right. And then, after that, for wrapping it up, you guys went 5-3 after going 0-4. Your 3 losses were to NC State without your starting quarterback, at Clemson essentially by a field goal, at Florida by a field goal. You won all the rest. Obviously, if that hadn't happened, if that turnaround hadn't happened, I wouldn't be sitting here. We wouldn't probably be celebrating this. But it did seem like that moment, and I know it wasn't that moment. It's all the work y'all put in every day of practice. But after that week is when really the second half of the Louisville game, it seemed like it flipped. And then you guys were a good team the last 8 weeks of the season.
Well, you look at the next game. We play Syracuse, and in that Syracuse game, we got up.
Yes.
And even in that game, muff a punt. Yeah. We have some negative plays, miss a tackle, give up a couple explosives.
Right?
All of those things still showed up, and even in the moment, we still needed a defensive stop. We needed a 2-minute drive by the offense, and then we had to have a game-winning field goal.
Right.
So all 3 phases had to show up, and I would have much rather of us just to finished, where we were and not have some of those mistakes that showed up that allowed us to. Like I say this, sometimes you literally have to go through what you need to prove you can get through. And it had been a long time, and we'd been in close games. We had seen that already in the first part of the season. but we weren't able to overcome some of those negatives. We weren't able to overcome and finish where we were, and we did in the next game. And then it's set up for the following game. Going on the road to play, in a place we had not played very well on the road, and all those things. And it's just those are the building blocks. And you saw confidence that showed up within our team. Now, were we a finished product? Was it a fairy tale? Did we win out? No. And there's still lessons that have been learned through that. But to point to a moment, I'm for any player that saw that, for any recruit that saw it, and where it points to the response, I do think that speaks to where this team is in the moment, but also talks to where this team is going. I think that it sparks to a question. You asked a great question.
Hey, thanks, buddy. And I'm just happy to be a part of the turnaround.
There you go. Well, we appreciate you.
You got it, Mike. Thanks, buddy.